And then we have our Damien Baylock or Howard Fitzwater. I'm not sure what's going on, but actress Alexis Arquette.
Yay!
And I always mispronounce his last name apparently, but let's see if I get it right. We have actor Nick Stebil. Thank you guys all for coming out. This was like 3 months in the works, and so far the juice is worth the squeeze. So,
First I have to say that I have two costumes from the movie. This is Nick's jacket, Jesse's jacket from the movie, and this is Alexis's belt buckle. Oh no, that's Damien. Alexis said that's so embarrassing. I thought for you or for me.
They're not throwing it away. I like that.
Is your house just like a prop house of all 6 films? Like, do you have?
It used to be, but over the years I've slowly given most of it away.
Wow, I'll take some
Kind of
at some
stupid.
point. Okay, so you obviously had the first 3 films, 80s, 90, 91, and then 7 years later you popped out The Bride of Chucky, and it's quite a left turn. I think we all agree the humor kind of built up in the franchise. And this is just a complete left turn. And I want to know how you pitched this to Universal. Let them say, yeah, this is a scary movie, because it's more of a comedy, but it also is scary. So,
well, in fact, at that time, this was in the wake of Scream, the first Scream, and that kind of reinvigorated the horror genre. It was kind of the early mid '90s before Scream came out was kind of a weird period in horror. There was just not much going on that really caught on. And then Scream came in, it revolutionized everything. And what was new about Scream was that it was very self-involved, self-conscious, self-involved, self-conscious and meta, and humorous. It was specifically comedic. So I think that that's something that suddenly everyone was looking for. And over the years, David Kirshner, who's the producer of all the films, he and I, and then Corey, started working for David shortly before that. What year did you start working for David? 93. We wanted to be ready, when we knew that the call would eventually come, and so we talked about various ideas. And one thing that we knew we wanted to do something different. We didn't want to keep making the same movie over and over again, because I think we felt that we had fallen into that trap with Child's Play 3, and I think the revenues confirmed that. So we just wanted to do something different, and we all love comedy. And the whole idea of writing a comedy was catnip to me, because I just had not had an opportunity to do that before. So all of these things sort of aligned and came together, and I remember we went and we pitched it to Mark Platt, who at the time was the head of the studio, and he said, yeah, he loved it.
There was a weekend in between, actually. You remember he was on the bubble, and then it turned out that his daughter watched all the Chucky movies at a slumber party and loved them all, and so that was kind of his impetus to say we should make another one.
Were you a fan, Corey, of the franchise?
Of course, yes. No, honestly, it was new to me, and I was and am very thrilled to be invited to the party. But no, I had gone to an arty party film school and thought I'd be making Euro arty stuff, and this was so much better, and it was a great opportunity.
Oh yeah, and I think that makes sense coming off the heels of Scream. I know we did last summer in Scream too, and the slasher genre was huge. It was huge in the late 90s. When you first got on board, you're just the writer. Ronnie Yu, who was amazing, he went on to direct Freddy vs. Jason. You didn't direct. Why? How involved were you as a writer on set? Because as a writer myself, we get shat on all the time. So
we do, but that's one of the things I've been really fortunate about with this franchise, that David Kirshner has been very generous about allowing me to participate and remain involved. Actually, it was our idea to get Ronnie. Ronnie and I at the time had the same agent. Actually, it was my agent, Richard Arlick's idea is really who should get the credit for that, because he was the one who first suggested it. And so we screened The Bride with White Hair at Universal, and we had not seen it before. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. And his cinematographer, Peter Powell, who after he did Bride of Chucky went on to win the Oscar for Crouching Tiger. So we saw this and we were like, oh, we have to get this guy. And, as studios often are, they were, not sold. They were a little more cautious than we were. And they interviewed a bunch of people. I remember at one point, in fact, Greg Araki, as I recall, was on that list, which I initially thought was kind of interesting because I had a mission. It was not, I won't even say it was a covert mission because it was pretty manifest, I think, in the script. It was very gay, and I was very excited about kind of gaying up this franchise. And as you can tell, right? Like all of us up here. except for Nick, of course.
The gays love Nick.
Except for Nick, eye candy Stebil.
So anyway, the idea of Greg Araki, getting his hooks in it was kind of interesting, but ultimately, I think it was absolutely the best choice. It was so fortuitous that we got him.
Well, so if you were so proactive as a writer with every aspect of Scenes with Bride, when was the first time Jennifer's name was that very first thought process start?
I didn't know Jennifer at the time. I wrote it for
How
her.
did you become BFFs, basically?
Well, I wrote her a part. This was shortly after Bound and Bullets Over Broadway, so of course was a huge fan. And when I was writing the script, her voice just seemed right. I mean, she seemed right for the character. We needed somebody who could pronounce the word Chucky with 8 syllables. We needed somebody who had a distinctive voice, someone who was sexy, someone who was funny. There are just not that many people who fit that bill. So I wrote it with her in mind, and Corey and David were completely on board with that idea. And I never in a million years dreamed that it would work out, because generally things like that don't. And it did.
Well, when my agent called up, he knows I have a hard-on to do major motion pictures. And he called up and he said, Jennifer, you just got offered the lead in a major motion picture. And I was understandably wary. I said, really, that's so strange. What is it about? And my agent goes, well, it's about a little doll. And I go, what? You want me to make a Chucky movie? I'd never actually seen a Chucky movie, and I sort of thought that it was like something you do at the end of your career. You make a horror movie. After I met Don, he introduced me to the joys of horror movies, and I saw that there's a lot of artistry in it, especially in Don Mancini horror movies. But at the time, I had very, I guess what you call prejudice. So anyway, I was resisting. I dug in my heels, and then I found out a very good friend of mine that I'm very competitive with was dying to do it. She was like, oh my God, I so want to do that. And I heard that they're going to go to her next if I passed. And so I just part of me, I just really wanted to fuck over my friend. But she goes, it would be so fantastic. You'd have a franchise. Well, I don't really want to say, but it was Gina Gershon. She's like, and after Bound, we were always up for the same part. Like,